Welcome to BikeBeat. This is the 2026 Triumph Bonneville T100, a motorcycle that doesn't scream for attention, but quietly commands it. It's the kind of bike that doesn't try to chase trends because it is the trend. Year after year, Triumph's modern classics keep refining the formula, and this latest T100 feels like the perfect midpoint between nostalgic beauty and real-world rideability. It's not the biggest Bonneville, not the flashiest, but it might just be the most balanced of them all. The heart of the T100 is Triumph's familiar 900 cubic centimeters parallel twin engine, now smoother, lighter, and more responsive than before. Triumph hasn't reinvented the wheel here, and that's a good thing. Power sits around 64 horsepower with about 80 Nm of torque, and it's all delivered in that creamy, torque-rich mid-range where this bike loves to live. Roll on the throttle at 3000 RPM and it pulls forward with a deep, confident growl. There's no frantic rush, no turbocharged madness, just that satisfying linear push that reminds you why riding a classic twin feels so right. It's the kind of power you can actually use every day, not just brag about. The 5-speed gearbox feels deliberate, with a light clutch thanks to Triumph's torque assist design. Each shift lands with a mechanical precision that's tactile and engaging. The 270-degree crank gives the T100 that lovely offbeat pulse somewhere between a rumble and a purr. It's refined but still has personality, especially when you open it up and hear those twin exhausts sing. Triumph's engineers have managed to balance performance and soul, a rare thing in an era where so many engines feel sterile and overpolished. Riding the Bonneville T100 is about connection to the road, to the machine, and to a simpler idea of motorcycling. The tubular steel frame has a reassuring solidity. The front uses traditional 41mm cartridge forks, the rear twin shocks are adjustable for preload, and everything feels dialed toward comfort and stability. It's not a razor-edged sport bike, but the T100 handles corners with poise. You can tip it in with confidence, feel the tires dig in, and it holds a line beautifully. Triumph's geometry tuning gives just enough agility without making it twitchy, and even on bumpy backroads the suspension soaks up imperfections gracefully. The brakes, as always on the T100, are honest and predictable, a single 310mm disc at the front with a twin-piston caliper, and a 255mm disc at the rear. It's a classic setup, paired with ABS for safety, and while it won't slam you to a stop like a supersport, it offers great modulation and control. The weight, around 228 kilograms wet, is distributed evenly enough that low-speed balance feels natural. Newer riders will find it approachable, while experienced riders will appreciate how relaxed it feels at any speed. And then there's the way it looks. Every Bonneville has a presence, but the 2026 model takes detailing to the next level. The tank remains the sculpted teardrop shape we all recognize, now with crisper edges and an even more premium finish. Triumph's badging glints under the sun like jewelry, the brushed metal side covers are tighter to the frame, and the paint options this year, deep jet black, a dual-tone red and white, and a metallic bronze, look rich and timeless. The proportions are perfect. Round LED headlamp, bar-end mirrors, spoked wheels, twin P-shooter exhausts, every element is pure classic. But the closer you look, the more you see the modern craftsmanship beneath the nostalgia, seamless welds, precise machining, and clean routing for cables and hoses. It's a bike you could park in a cafe window and just admire. The seating position is comfortable and natural. At about 790mm, the seat height makes it accessible to most riders. You sit upright, with just a slight forward lean. The bars are wide enough for leverage but not exaggerated, and the mid-mounted pegs keep your knees in a relaxed bend. Whether you're in the city or on a country road, the ergonomics feel spot on. It's a bike you can ride all day without needing to stretch every hour. The seat itself is plush and supportive, wide enough for a pillion if you're bringing someone along. Technology on the T100 is discreet but present where it counts. You get dual-channel ABS and traction control as standard, and the throttle-by-wire system is smooth and predictable. The instrument cluster retains that old-school twin-dial look, analog speedometer and tachometer with a compact digital inset showing trip data, fuel, and gear position. No flashy screens, no overbearing menus, just the information you need. The headlight is LED, but Triumph has kept it perfectly circular to preserve the vintage silhouette. The fuel injection is cleverly hidden behind throttle body covers designed to mimic old carburetors. Everything is about blending heritage and modern functionality so nothing feels out of place. On the road, the Bonneville T100's personality shines through. Around town it's civilized, easy to maneuver, and beautifully balanced at low speeds. Out on the highway, it hums along comfortably at 100 to 120 kilometers an hour, the engine spinning smoothly without strain. Twist the throttle to overtake and you feel that immediate, linear surge. The twin just breathes with a steady rhythm, not loud, not aggressive, but musical in its own way. The exhaust note is deep and mellow, with a perfect mix of restraint and character. Triumph's engineers know that a bike like this should sound emotional, and they've nailed it. Fuel economy hovers around 23 to 25 kilometers per liter, depending on how you ride, and with a 14-liter tank you can expect over 300 kilometers of range. It's not a long-distance tourer in the traditional sense, but it's a perfect companion for weekend escapes or everyday commutes that make you feel special. The build quality is top-notch, the switchgear feels solid, the paint is deep, and every touchpoint gives you that sense of craftsmanship Triumph is known for. When it comes to price, the 2026 Triumph Bonneville T100 is expected to start around 10.5 lakh rupees in India, or about $11,500 in Western markets, depending on color and accessories. That puts it right in the premium retro segment above entry-level classics like the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, but below its own sibling, the more powerful Bonneville T120. And that's part of the T100's appeal, it sits right in that sweet spot, light enough for new riders, refined enough for veterans, and beautiful enough for anyone who loves timeless design. Of course, it's not perfect. The single front disc limits how aggressively you can ride before you feel the need for more bite. The 5-speed gearbox means a bit more revs on the highway than a 6-speed bike. And some will wish for more advanced electronics, ride modes, TFT display, maybe cruise control. But honestly, that's not what the Bonneville T100 is about. It's about character, about mechanical honesty, about feeling the machine working beneath you instead of being filtered through digital layers. That simplicity is its charm. And that's what sets the Bonneville T100 apart from so many modern motorcycles. It's not trying to be futuristic. It's trying to be real. It takes you back to the roots of motorcycling, the wind, the sound, the connection. It doesn't overwhelm you with options, it invites you to just ride. The T100 is that one bike that looks as good parked in your driveway as it feels carving a mountain road. It's not intimidating, it's inviting. It doesn't need to prove anything, it's already confident in what it is. Triumph has created a motorcycle that speaks both to your head and your heart. It's beautifully made, easy to live with, and dripping with heritage. So as you listen to that twin burble away and the sun glints off that polished tank, you realize the 2026 Bonneville T100 isn't just a motorcycle. It's a story. A living piece of British design, reborn for today's roads, and built for riders who still believe that less can be more, and that the best rides are the ones that make you smile long after you've parked the bike.